Let's discuss an important point following 2 tweets this week.
Arb Hunter on Twitter asks, what time do you start your trades? Way prior or 20 minutes-ish?
Okay, so a fairly important question there from Arb Hunter, asking about the times and when I get involved with trading. And I'll come on to that in a second, but there's a really important point that I want to follow with this. And also, it wasn't really a question, but made by Zizom.
Zizom on Twitter says, there's so much to learn, isn't there?
There's a lot to be learned. Now, focusing on one specific timescale at a time is quite important. Here's why. The market is ruthless. Quite frankly, the markets on any betting market on the exchange is absolutely ruthless. The market will do as it wants. It will do what's happening at that point in time, regardless of where you are, what you're at, how you're feeling, what you're thinking, the stage that you're in. It just doesn't care. So it's really important to focus on just one thing at a time. Now, it took me a little while to realise that as well, and I think it's a very common problem for people coming into trading Betfair. And once you realise to focus on that one thing at a time, and then master that, and then repeat on, finding something else, and so until you're building up this plethora of different edges, things become a little bit more tricky. So, I mean, Cheltenham's just passed, so this is probably a better example. Cheltenham's just passed, and if you're trading the markets, you'll see the markets behave completely differently. And that's because Cheltenham is different to the rest of the year. And that happens over a week, over a day, over an hour, over morning to afternoon, over 10 minutes before the start, 5 minutes before the start. They're all different time frames, and so there'll be slightly different behaviours, different things going on, different people being involved. And so, basically there's different opportunity. There's opportunity in every single one of them situations, but there's different opportunity in different time frames. And that applies to markets and stuff as well, and types of market. You could go on all day, and obviously guide readers all know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, you can't compare, for example, Cheltenham racing markets to an Irish card on, just a normal weekday Irish card, because Irish racing isn't as popular, and you don't get as much betting, and a lot of the betting comes from people in the UK, so Irish racing, understandably, isn't quite as popular. The markets behave differently, is what I'm saying. So focusing on different opportunities in different ways, one at a time, crack the Irish markets, or crack how they behave a little bit differently, and then try and, the Cheltenham markets and how they behave. And then you're in a situation where once you've sort of mastered each one a little bit, you can chop and change and blend between the two, but only once you've built that sort of level of skill, as it were, can you then jump around so easily. But so to start out, what I'm saying is focus on one thing at a time. Now, how does this relate to the time frames question? The time frames are just the same. So it's if you're mastering sort of morning to afternoon trades, you can't expect to go to 5 minutes, pre-off and trade them the same, because it's different. It's a bit like building a wall. So if you're building a brick wall, you want to focus on one brick at a time, laying cement. I've never laid a wall, so I don't really know exactly how it goes. But you want to focus on one brick at a time, the cement, and doing it nicely, and then you're building up all your different bricks until you've got your nice wall. If you just turned up on day one, week one, and just got a whole load of bricks, whole load of cement, and went at once, and tried to do it all at the same time, you're just trying to build level 5 at the same time you're building level 2, you'd end up with a pretty wonky wall. And that's what I'm trying to say with your trading. If you go in and try and do too much at once, focus on different things at the same time, trying to, a balancing act, as it were, and juggling everything everywhere, it's not going to work, or there's a good chance it's not going to work out exactly how you want it to. So, different things happen at different times, and that's how you want to focus on that. Yes, I do place trades in the morning sometimes, and I'll be quite honest with you, I'm a bit lazy. And the reason I'm lazy is because my situation is probably different to yours and to anyone else watching this video. So, I mean, I trade full time, and I'm more than happy to trade in like the last 10 minutes, and I can sort of turn up before the first race, half hour before, just trade the live shows on each race and go throughout the day, have plenty of cash from it, and it's not a problem for me. So I might do that, whereas if you're going to work, for example, and you only have time to look at the markets in the morning, and you want to place a morning to afternoon trade because you're at work throughout the day, that's something you might want to master because of your situation. I've got the freedom and the time because I now do this full time. I've tried doing all them different blocks myself at different points, some more successful than others. Yes, I can do all of them different blocks, as it were, of building the wall, but I'm a bit lazy, so I don't do them all the time. So what I'm trying to say to you there, our partner with that question, is 20 minutes before, not really, there's not really a lot going on, so I kind of focus on the last 10, the last 5. But there is opportunity within the last 20, last 10, last 3 hours before the race in the morning, way prior, as you say. But it depends on your situation, what you want to do. And again, it's the same, evening racing, weekend racing, Saturday afternoon racing. Again, Saturday afternoons are a little bit more like the Cheltenham markets you would have seen recently. A lot of people work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, so they've got the weekend if they want to have a trade. So I would suggest to them people, maybe focus on Saturday afternoon. It behaves different to the rest of the week. You've got your Channel 4 coverage, you've got all that kind of stuff going on. Just focus on that situation, one at a time, try not to do everything at once. And you're likely to be a lot more successful with that. Which obviously comes around to the same thing as Izan was saying there, there's so much to learn. Yeah, don't try and learn it all at once, just do one thing at a time.